wants to talk about, but I've noticed the helmets more this spring and the decals and stuff, and some of the players really like the idea that they're more involved with the community, I think, because of its motivation. Is academics also part of this? Can you go over a little bit what this is for, and if you like what is coming out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, it was about position identity. We really wanted to. We kind of started with the stickers and that kind of went away. But the kids still have that position identity in their own locker room. The left side of the helmets are for exactly that. Their activity within beyond football, and then their academic success. And also the left side of the helmet is for their achievements in the weight room. Okay. So that started January 4th and went all the way through spring ball and will continue as we move forward. The right side of the helmet is specifically just for football related. So I think it's good. It's a way for them to be competing against each other, it's tallied every day in the locker room as far as by position and by each individual kid. So it's just another way to compete, to have fun with it. I think it's been a very, very good addition. It was something, I just felt like we needed to have those competition moments wherever we can, academically, socially, whatever.
When they come back here in the fall, do they start over, or do they keep what they have?
We'll keep those on, the practice helmets, as we go through it, especially with the community stuff and their academic stuff. We'll have some type on the practice helmets for games, for practice, but we won't stick them up during games. It'll just be the practice helmet, and we'll get those. But this is something that we'll carry on. The leadership committee has already expressed to me that they are definitely in favor of continuing it, so we will.
Okay, so once the season does start, they won't add to them as they go.
As the season starts, they will continue to add to them. So when we start summer conditioning, they'll start on the left side of the helmet again, just like it was January. So it'll be new beyond football and new weight room and new academics.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yep.
Did Seth approach you about rejoining the team? How long ago did he do that? And just your thoughts right now about him being back on the squad?
Yeah. Seth approached me. I couldn't tell you when it was. It was weeks ago. That he was, what he wanted to do. And when we first sat down and started talking about it, it was very clear that he was very confident that that's what he wanted, and he had a direction that this is where he wanted to be. At that point, I sat back and thought about it for a minute, communicated with people. I thought it was important that I myself take a big deep breath and see exactly where the situation was, exactly where Seth was. Seth was making this decision, and I think that's so important when young people, they get influenced, they have outside people communicate with them, they get stressed and pushed in so many different ways of what's right. And when you see a kid finally make a decision of what he really thinks is right, then I'm in with it. And at that point, I decided that I thought it was something I'd pursue. I took it to the leadership. I took it to the captains first. We had a discussion. Took it from there to the leadership committee. We had a discussion. All thumbs up. Not even one thumb kind of in the middle. It was all thumbs up, 100%. Came up with the stipulations that I put out there for Seth. I think it's important to earn your way back when you get into a situation like this. And it's not, I can't say it, he made a decision. He didn't make a mistake. He didn't, it was a decision that he made that he thought was best for him. But you still have ramifications of making those decisions. So he has a set step-by-step scenario he has to go through to get mainstream, and winter conditioning is a big part of that for him. He's been a great student. I tracked him all the time from the day he said he was leaving. I kept tabs on him academically to make sure he was doing okay. And the big thing here is Seth and I's line of communication never stopped. When Seth said he was leaving, I talked to the head coach to where he was going to go to school, and I told him exactly what the situation is, and obviously he liked what he heard, I guess, because they wanted Seth to be involved in the program. So I was there for him. Like I said in the release, it's my own children. They're just like my kids. I tell them all the time, and they don't always make the decisions I want them to make, but it doesn't mean I'm going to close the door on it.
Can you kind of just give a rundown of this week in practice, what you feel like you accomplished?
Yeah, I think this is a good week. We sit back, and one of the deficiencies that we had was throwing and catching consistently, and a lot of that had to do with, I mentioned it, after the receivers. We got after receivers a little bit after the Hillsboro scenario, and on the flip side of that, they've reacted in a positive way. So far from arriving, but they've definitely done better. We've made some contested catches. I think the competition created by the two guys we brought in, Timmy and Trayvon have turned up the heat. Let's just throw it out there, and it is what it is. So you better react. If it's competition, it's helping that move along, then that's great. If it's their own self-motivation, then that's great. If it's because we're doing other things better, then that's great too. But I hope it's all of it. I hope it's the competition. I hope it's the coaching. I hope it's their focus, the time they're spending outside of football. So that's a good thing. We've handled tempos of practice much better this week as a team. We went very physical at times in practice, and we went all the way down to took off the shoulder pads in practice and asked them to change gears, and they handled that. That's a sign of a team that is at least able to handle situations in different tempos in practice. And today we went helmets, and I thought it was clean with the heavy emphasis on special teams. So it was it was a solid, good work week, and I think as we move forward, we need to push us through Saturday now. See what we got out there.
Yeah, with Saturday, just it's kind of a unique situation in that it's not the last practice. Usually the spring game is the last practice. So what do you hope to get out of Saturday that then maybe can propel you into that final week?
Number one is it's scrimmage 2. It's not practice 15, and that's the big thing for the kids. They need to understand that this is scrimmage 2. We're not going into it. Sometimes you walk into spring games and what's the goal of the day? We'll stay healthy. That's not our goal. We're not in that position. So we're going to go out and we're going to scrimmage hard and heavy. It's going to be the best the best game day home experience that we can give them. Last week we gave them the best away game experience that we could possibly give them without it being real. So this is where we're at right now in the spring game. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. It will be a little different. It's offense versus defense, but the scoring system should be fun. Should keep it competitive, and I'm controlling the score, so it will be competitive. It'll be close. At the end, I would love to be able to get into a 2-minute situation for somebody to have to win or lose the game, or a kicker potentially make a kick to win or lose the game. And we'll try to create that environment. The field's about 80 yards because of the construction, which we'll give up that 20 yards of field gladly for the new facility as they continue to work on that. A little bit of special teams. We'll punt it. We'll have a snapper. We'll have a couple gunners and a couple hold-up guys, and that's it. And we want to get Trayvon back there and have him catch punts. So it's going to be a competitive, physical football game. We'll hold out just 1 or 2 kids, but that's it.
And I meant to ask you about this on Saturday, because that's when the news came out, but the satellite camp against AAA. How do you feel about that?
You know what? It's anybody in my mind that sits back and says that there's not pros and cons to both sides is looking at it the wrong way. But that's my opinion. So it seems like every coach that wants to jump up and throw a big opinion out there about it, then all of a sudden it's this decision, it's that decision, and this guy wants to tell you this and this guy wants to say that. So my official stance is I'm not going to change it, and I'm good with whatever they decide. We'll adjust, and like I said yesterday on a couple of the radio deals, it's so key for us, especially this recruiting cycle, for kids to come in and see our new facility and what's going on. So for us to get them on our campus is the #1 goal, and a lot of them coming this weekend. So I'm more worried about those kids coming here this weekend and this football team that's here than I am about arguing and bickering about whether I'm going to get on an airplane for the month of June or not. I'll just play by the rules.
Your players are competing every practice, of course. Does the spring game, because there's going to be several thousand people there, does it rise above in some way in
Sure.
the competitive aspect?
Yeah, it absolutely does. And it better. It should. It's a game day, and we're in our. Again, you go look at us. We say, hey, we're 48-hour rule. How are we going to get ourselves ready for a game? What are we doing? That's what we're doing. So it's important for us to get into this moment and treat it like a game. Wake up in the morning, understand that we're going to play a game. Is it exact? No, but it's that moment. I hope we have a tremendous crowd for these kids. It should be a great day for the fans. It's free this year, so you can out see the kids. We're going to have a good autograph session after the game for everybody who wants to come be involved. So, but I expect it, and we expect it. I hope as a football team, which I believe we do, to prepare the next 48 hours like it's game. We have to. Okay? We haven't won many of those. Anything else?